powered by the Truth Network. So glad to be back. I come to you every Tuesday, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Central European Time, which is 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, and then who knows what time. I think it's midnight in Asia, so Hong Kong time or Singapore time, wherever you are. So that's the spectrum. So I come to you every day, every week, every day of the week, and those times. So what do I talk about today? I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend and what it means for economic standpoints, and then what we're doing at Truth Network. I'm just going to do a bit of a sell this time and just really walk you through what we're working on at Truth Network and why Truth Network, we believe, is going to be super important in an age of internet capital markets as well as info finance. And so as those two collide together, where is Truth Network? How does it sit? How does it fit in? How does it fit in with Truth Network, with Truflation? How does it fit in with Index.Fund? And how does it fit in with MaxCap/Nuon? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. But really, I think the news of the week is really sums it up in this picture, really. I mean, we saw Putin meet with Trump. Old news. We've all heard about it. And if you haven't, go read about it. But yeah, apparently a good meeting in Alaska. Then all the European delegates, including Zelensky, met up on Monday in the Oval Office. And here you can see a picture in the Oval Office, all of them kowtowing in front of Donald Trump. So all of these, bear in mind, in 2015, they were all poo-pooing Trump. They didn't like Trump. They were glad that he was off the scene. And look, here they all are now kowtowing. Some not so happy, e.g. Maloney. Others just really just listening to his tribe. And in the back, there is majestically sitting there is the cabinet office of Mr. Trump, President Trump, Marco Rubio. So really, I mean, real big wigs. This is a power meeting here, and I don't think anything beats that. But that says it all. Seems like the meetings went well, but the market hasn't shown a positive sign as a result out of this meeting that this war is finally coming to an end. And it's a huge week in front of us, right? So I'm going to go into a bit of the week in front of us, what's coming up. We had Monday, we had Tuesday. Today, where are we at today? We got earnings watch. We got Home Depot, Xpeng, the EV car maker. Check out the EV index on TruflationNation.com. We've got some investor conferences, energy. And then here we got an AI technology summit taking place with NVIDIA, Applied Optoelectronics, Fabrinet, etc. On Wednesday, more earnings, right? Target, Low, so a lot of retail companies, and Estée Lauder. So we heard about retail not doing too well, yet the retail reports showing a lot of positive signs. Remember, the government is using older data, so we're seeing something slightly different. More activities, events taking place during out the day. And then here, Google has at 1 p.m. will hold a Pixel event, which is their mobile phone. Anybody got the Seeker phone, the Solana Seeker phone? That's a phone with a TEE, a locked-in execution environment on the phone itself, a trusted execution environment on the phone itself. Supposed to be really good, great UI, and I'm waiting for mine. It's still in the mail, not here yet, so I'll be able to unpack it, unravel it, and share it with you here, especially now that the Truth token is on Solana and the Truth Network is live on Solana. The minutes are released, so the FOMC minutes are released, the Federal Reserve. Is the Federal Reserve still relevant? Will we still have a Federal Reserve? Given what's taking place with stablecoins, and how important is it other than dropping the interest rates right now? The market is still very trusting in the Federal Reserve and central banks, but that will go as we're seeing new banks emerge that don't really trust the central bank and have a totally different agenda going on out there. You're seeing whole new layer ones, whole new stable coins being minted, which means whole new set of purchases of treasury bonds or bills or coming to market, right? And so those are all coming live. So stay tuned for that. What does that mean in a world where treasury bonds can be sold directly to private businesses who can then directly, off the back of that T-bond, issue stable coins? What does that mean? Where is the Federal Reserve in that? How much is the cost of that yield? And think about the retail distribution of digital stablecoins. Where and how does that go? Around the world, all of the merchants selling through Shopify, Walmart, Amazon, all of a sudden, all of those suppliers are going to be paid in stablecoins. That is a foundational and fundamental change. The reliance on central banks to buy US government bonds is going to shift into the enterprise world and into privatization of money. And ultimately, the license to print that money is going to be coming from the purchase of treasury bonds and bills. Anyway, stay tuned for that. We've been talking about that for a long time. 2 trillion in 2 years. We talked about it early in the beginning of this year, and we're on the path to get there. I mean, we're going from 250 billion. The hockey stick will come very soon. Thursday, again, do your own research. This is not financial advice. But so more earnings on Thursday, and then we'll go into that on Friday. We see a lot of reports coming out, etc. So Foot Locker, I mean, here the FTC trying to block GTCR's purchase of Sumo Dicks. I mean, I don't know really who the FTC, I thought they're out. Lena Khan, the wrath of Lena is over, but apparently not. There's still some legacy in there. Let's see what's happening there. Earnings watch, drug companies, RLX. All day. And then on Friday, big day, the FOMC or Chairman Powell will give a speech in Jackson Hole, which is in Wyoming. The SALT conference is in Wyoming right now. The Jackson Hole Financial Community or event, I don't know what kind of an event it is, but all the bankers and economists around the world fly into Jackson Hole. So this is the elite trying to decide the outcome with old, stale data. Do we still trust that elite? Who does? We'll see. But anyway, lots of earning announcements. Got a nice calendar here, so you can have a look at this on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All these logos: Baidu, Estee Lauder, Futu, and then here we got BBVA, Spanish Bank, blah blah blah. A lot into it. Walmart over here on Thursday, so that's going to be a big day. Vianet. Oh wow, that's a Chinese internet data provider, data center provider. Interesting. They might be doing pretty well. Maybe something to look at, etc., etc. So you can see all of that there. But what I wanted to cover off is less more about this, and here just something on the stable coins, right? So he'll cut debt in half by injecting trillions in crypto. So he's going to inject crypto, buy crypto, Bitcoin assets to back the currency and stabilize it and make it retain some value and more value against other currencies. And then on the flip side, they're going to issue the ability to issue lots of stable coins. So that'll be pretty interesting. But what I wanted to cover off today is a bit more around what we're working on at Truth Network and really share with you a bit of that while I've got another 10 minutes to go. So I'm just going to fly through our presentation. Hope you like it and take it from there. Here, let me just share the window. This is the window I want to share. And here you go. Let me see if you tell me if you can see this. Here we go. It's loading. Okay, this is what we're doing. So Truth Network, right? It's the underlying infrastructure that's powering Truflation. Ultimately, we're going to provide the protocol for internet capital markets. That's what we want to do. We bring a lot of real-world data on chain, as you know. We started off with Truflation. Today, we've created a signal amongst all of the noise. You know, we bet on the fact that the world would not trust these individuals, and they don't. And as a result, we've come through as a signal. So the world now listens to Truflation. If you've known, you follow us, you read us, we're in all the Bloomberg groups. We're taken and adopted by some of the world's top research houses, and they're using Truflation as an indicator to predict where the markets are going and then make investment decisions with Truflation, regardless of where government inflation numbers are going. So you can see we've built a real-time economic indicator for and around the single most important metric in any country and any economy, inflation. We have 45-day lead time, as all you know. And guess what? all of this is now down on the blockchain. So you can see that. And why is this so important? We've put all of this data on the blockchain so that we can fix data. We can trust data. We can verify who the data is coming from, where it's coming from, and see that all in truthscan.io. So check out truthscan.io. It's now live. And you'll be able to see that here, right now. I should change my screen so you can see that here. Let me share screen. So I don't know if you've seen this Truth Scan. You can see it right here. It's now live, truthscan.ai. So think of Block Explorer, Etherscan, SoulScan, any of those other ones. You can then see the Truth Scan, scanning your data. So you can find out any stream. I've shared this before. It hasn't really changed much, but you can. So let's talk about the deadlift index, which we have some interesting news coming out. Stay tuned on that one. That's going to be asset-backed tradable index very soon. But you can see we have two different types of deadlift index. These will now be published, available. You'll see the weighting, where it's from, who is the data provider. You can see it's the same link, the message, is source of data provider. You can link on that and copy that or see that. You can see here, this is the data provider. This is the true source of data, and this is the data provider. So the data aggregator that's pulling this data and creating this index. This should actually be index creator and the owner of this index. And you can see where it is included. But if I go into meta forms, you'll see meta on here. You'll see it's being used in the deadlift index. And you can see the data provider is index.fun, etc. So this is the index creator, we should say, associated with that. But all of this is just giving you the transparency and the verification associated with it. Remember, Bitcoin didn't, you didn't trust the source of money and the printer. You could verify it, right? So that's what Bitcoin solved. And we're trying to do the same with data. So Bitcoin fixed money, we're fixing data. And that's really what we're trying to do around and with the Truth Network. Why? Because internet capital markets, we all talk about it. What does it mean? Nobody really understands what it means, but it's really creating a market on chain that allows people to trade in capital markets. You can raise funding off it. All of the work that Wall Street does, let's bring that onto Crypto Street. What does that street look like? And how do we create that on the internet rails and bring these predictions on chain? The predictions market is a futures market. The futures market is based on derivatives. Derivatives is a quadrillion industry. And you can see that people want to trade futures. Look at the crypto perpetuals markets, it's 60 trillion. And the prediction markets alone is a 12 billion industry. And we believe the prediction markets is only going to grow. As the market grows, so does the prediction market. And so does the opportunity and the importance of getting truth, right? Why? Because as the market grows, the ability or the desire or the the likelihood of bad actors coming in trying to corrupt the source of truth so that they can have an outcome go in their favor is much higher. In the fiat world, we saw that with Arthur Andersen and Enron, all of these things, they were trading energy futures, right? And so Andersen Consulting got corrupted. They created all these offshore vehicles and traded there. So how do we identify an offshore, an on-chain, transparent source of truth? And that's what we're really trying to build out with Truth Network. And this is what we've built. The Truth Network is live today. It's already operating. You can see the Truth Scan. You can go and get a 1-minute click to get launched and have a node. Or you can set up in 15 minutes, have your own SDK installed, working with SQL and JavaScript, whatever, making it super easy in command line to get this up and running. Why? It is verified. We have a Roadrunner BFT, Byzantine fault tolerant consensus algorithm that verifies all the data sets, the latest data accuracy associated with that. And we allow with our SQL-based smart contracting for you to then build computation and indexes on chain directly without having to index it, write it back to chain, et cetera, et cetera. you can and will be able to manage that and distribute that through our various partners. We've been working on this, and what we're seeing is as more and more moves on chain, how do we capture more of the on chain data feeds and pricing feeds and integrate that with the off chain world pricing and feeds? So that way, we then actually are continuing to grow, and we see the relevance of transactions and trades moving from off-chain into on-chain, and ultimately that weighting will start shifting over time as more and more activity moves on-chain. We have a vast amount of data sets. As you know, Truflation already aggregates over 100 plus million sources, 100 plus different data sources with 100 million different price feeds and data points that we aggregate on chain. We have an ecosystem. This ecosystem has grown. It has evolved. We're now across various and multiple layer ones and layer twos. We work very closely with Chainlink, our biggest partner out there, and we are still exploring partnerships with Pith. We have AI partnerships together with Allura. We've announced these publicly. AI Predictions, they're a node operator doing prediction markets as well, and Morpheus. Really a decentralized AI protocol out there. We're working with prediction markets. You saw the campaigns with Limitless. We've got another couple of few coming, as well as perpetuals and other DeFi protocols. And why is this so important that it's written in SQL and making it so easy for developers? Number one, every single software engineer out there knows how to work with SQL. It's common practice. It's a protocol that's proven, tried, and tested. It works with all AI solutions that are out there already. It is the database of choice for AI engines and LLMs. And not only that, you can immediately write queries straight to the Truth network without having to take that off chain. And so huge benefits with this SQL-based blockchain. And yeah, so we've made it simple. These are a couple of slides that we're testing out. But yeah, you don't need to learn a new language, learn Solidity, learn Rust, write in Rust, get it indexed correctly, take it off-chain, that index data to then understand the rewrite calculations, make sure it's indexed correctly, write back to chain. All of that is taken out of the equation with a SQL query language. And that is allowing us to build out new AI services. However, at the same time, you look at what is the issue with AI. As we bring more and more derivatives on chain, how do we create those derivatives? How do we trade those derivatives? How can we continuously evolve the marketplace as the blockchain is a living, breathing facility that is open to everybody, permissionless, accessible, transparent? How do we allow for the constant creation of new products? And that's where we think AI is going to come in. So we have an MCP that's going to be announced. Stay tuned very soon. And that will allow LLMs to work with all the data sets on Truflation. So we will be able to create marketplaces that you can trade that allows you to then identify a movement in the price of wheat. The price of wheat impacts the price of bread. The price of bread impacts food at home and food away from home. Food at home and away from home are a part of food category, which has some 18% weighting in the CPI. So does that mean CPI will go up or down? And then what can I do against that, right? And so ultimately, how do we create markets for all of this? How does this happen autonomously? And that's where agents will come in to create those markets. Not only that, they will then come in and trade on that long tail. So all of these new markets that are going to be created, before they get identified by humans, they will be spotted by agents. And those agents will automatically trade on those and compete against each other, because there will be arbitrage opportunities and they will take advantage of that. Their whole objective is to generate money, and they will go and find, collude and collaborate, yet at the same time compete against each other and hold each other in check. And so we are working on building out that. So the team is really definite on creating these infinite markets, thanks to internet capital markets moving on chain, or capital markets moving onto the internet using the blockchain for verification purposes. So what does that mean? Think of contracts like, we've been talking about this for a while now, Pentagon Pizza Index. If that goes up, spikes, then buy long defense stocks. if OnlyFans traffic goes up or TikTok traffic goes up, then buy luxury retail, right? Estee Lauder and other brands, Lipstick Index or Brazil rain. Actually, it has to be dry because coffee is hurt when it's actually dry and not enough rain. So, but you get the picture, right? This is what we're trying to reflect and allow you to trade in the future. This is what we're building, and this is what we're working on over the next 6 to 9 months. How do we make money? We provide data, you print it to the Truth Network, you pay for that. You actually use that verified data super cheap, but you can upload it. At least you have to pay a minimum amount because you're using storage, you're using compute resources, verification resources, etc. But it's on the chain. So any index creator can write and work with that data. They want verified data so that they can then write an index to the chain that anybody that consumes it, perpetual markets, DeFi protocols, layer ones, layer twos, indexes, exchanges, they can then all leverage it, and they need attestation. Where do I get the source of truth from? That is what we talked about right up front. So the bigger the market, the greater the opportunity for bad actors. The source of truth verifies and attests that this data comes from that provider and is calculated in this way through the truth scan, but also through a verification signal that data consumers will pay for. And that's sort of what we've built out. That's the model we're trying to share and work on. And so we've built the billing model, which is coming live in Q3. We've talked about that, where we're talking about how we secure value. What is the value secured on these? What is the frequency that you need attestation for? And what is that complexity? You know, how complex is the index? Does it have automatic rebalancing? Is the equation used to calculate that just requires a bit more compute resources, charges a little more? So very similar to what you see in Ethereum when you're doing a transaction with smart contracts. The greater the complexity, the higher the trading volume, the more TVL, et cetera, et cetera. So these are common practices. We're trying to smash them up into one and then be able to offer that and charge out for that. We've got a team. You all know the team. We're working here tirelessly to bring this to you. We have a roadmap. We've shared this roadmap. We will share all of this online, on-chain, and for everybody to see. So that was just a quick glimpse on the Truth Network, and I hope you like that. Stay tuned. The team's working on updating the website, but I got to run. I've got an important meeting to go to. That's why I'm dressed in white, and I will maybe share some pictures of that meeting if I can. But yeah, it's looking forward to that, and hope you enjoyed this. Please come in again Thursday, 6 p.m., 12 p.m., 9 a.m., and midnight in all the different time zones. So wherever you are, just follow this and see you then. Have a great Tuesday.